My mom is one of a kind.
Her energy when she walks into a room, when she is around, you just know she's there.
Denise Kruse has 24 hours in a day, and she seems to do so much more with it than the rest of us.
She's everywhere, all the time. Nobody knows how she does it.
You know, anyone who knows her knows how much she loves her family, and I would say is probably the most involved grandparent I know.
She's one of the most supportive people I've ever had in my entire life.
She always wants to make everybody feel loved and included and important. I think that's a really amazing quality that, you know, not a lot of people have.
Your head and your heart are different, right? So intellectually, I knew the statistics. I knew that someone I would care about would be impacted with heart. I knew that there would be women, but it was always going to be someone else, I felt, because I thought, I'm eating right, I'm exercising, I'm doing the right things, I'm probably good with my heart. And then I wasn't. So I was getting ready to sell my companies. December 31st, 2024 at 3 p.m., the sale went through. I went home, had the grandkids over for our annual New Year's Eve sleepover at Yaya and Papa's. I feel like my heart is racing a little bit and it hurts to breathe. And the next morning I woke up and I was far worse. And I said, I'm calling the girls, they gotta come get the kids, and I need to go to the hospital.
We checked her in at in the ER, and they said, you have pneumonia, and we just noticed you have a heart murmur as well. Her oxygen levels kept dropping, and your oxygen level gets below 90, that's dangerous, and hers was consistently in the 80s. And then ultimately they had to put her on intubator, put her in a coma. Probably the darkest moment was when they intubated her. I came into the room and I saw on her screen that her oxygen level was at 48. Her mitral valve was regurgitating fluid back into her lungs. She couldn't get better with the pneumonia because the fluid kept going into the lungs.
Things just kind of kept developing and changing, and so she was not going to be coming out of the hospital without open heart surgery.
A bunch of doctors lined up and said, we're doing open heart surgery. If you don't have it, you won't live, because something in your valve blew and you are now pumping at 50% capacity, but worse than that, every heartbeat is blowing fluid into your lungs. So there wasn't a choice.
Probably one of the most memorable moments was I was with her and the medical staff on a gurney. There's a big red line right there. And they put the foot of her gurney right there and they said, you can't go past that line. So I looked her in the eyes, she looked me in the eyes, and I didn't know whether I'd ever see her again.
I remember my whole family being there. I remember being in the bed, wheeling down the hall, and they got to a line on the floor and they said, your family can't go any further than this. And I remember thinking, I don't know if I'll see them again. And I remember them telling me later, when they said goodbye to me right there, they didn't know if they'd see me again. Nothing could prepare me for what I went through, because if I would have known everything that was coming at the beginning, I think I would have been overwhelmed by the possibility of defeat. But I had this village of people, that family and friends. I mean, it was incredible.
We were constantly there at the hospital, really 24/7.
You know, she was very anxious about being there and she really wanted someone with her all the time. That being said, I think one of the most incredible parts was seeing how many people just offered their hands to us and said, how can we help?
I think the reason why she had such an incredible village show up for her was because she has been part of so many different villages, employees, for her coworkers, or just for, you know, people in the Kansas City community. You know, this was her moment of need, and it was really amazing to see so many different people show up for her.
am so proud of my mom. She has worked really, really hard this last year, basically having to relearn to walk and relearn to move. And, you think about being in a hospital bed for 70 plus days, your body has to relearn everything. And so it is a constant, ongoing effort.
One of the reasons why she worked so hard and one of the goals she had on her PT board was to be able to meet her grandson, my baby that was born while she was in the rehab hospital. And so the day she came home from the hospital, I brought him over here so that she could meet him, and he was a couple weeks old at the time. And I just remember how proud I was of her that we had gotten to that moment. So the fact that she was able to do that and make that happen is just really awesome.
She just cares so much. She's the same person she was before, but I just have such a deeper appreciation that I didn't even think was possible.
If you did not have the American Heart Association or Go Red, you wouldn't have this level of cardiac care systemically throughout the country. And so if you did not have a behemoth of an organization advocating for that, I don't think we'd be as far along as we are today.
Without the American Heart Association, I probably wouldn't be here, honestly, because I feel like because I said yes in 2011 and I helped raise money for the American Heart Association right here in Kansas City, all the money before that, during that, and since then has gone to help save my life. I firmly believe that. My life is much better because of the research that was done by American Heart. It's saved my life, literally saved my life.